Hello students, a warm welcome to all of you to my channel. In this video, we are going to study the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. I will give you a quick introduction of the poet. Robert Lee Frost was an American poet. His work was initially published in England before it was published in America. He was born in the year 1874 in San Francisco, California, United States. He died on 29th January 1963 in Boston, United States. His wife's name is Eleanor Frost. Robert Frost received the Pulitzer Prize for his poetry 4 times. In this poem, Frost talks about how spending time outdoors affected him and helped change his state of mind. I will read the poem for you, children. It is a very small poem with only 2 stanzas. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Now, before I go on to explaining the stanzas in a detailed one, I would like to describe the new words for you. Dust of snow means fine particles of snow. Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree with small white flowers. Rued means felt sorry about something or regretted about something that had happened. Shook is the past tense of shake. That means emotionally or physically disturbed or upset. Mood is a temporary state of mind or feeling. Now let us see the explanation of the first stanza. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. The speaker says that a crow shook a light shower of snow as he passed under a hemlock tree, refreshing him and brightening his mood. The stanza opens up describing that the poet was walking in a sad mood, in a depressed mood. He was gloomy, but suddenly his mood got uplifted when a light shower of snow fell on his body. The poem describes how the act of a crow shaking down the snow upon him as he walked under a tree changed his mood for the better. The poet does not mention why the crow shook the snow onto him or what happened to make him rue the day prior to this act. So we as a reader, we don't know the reason why the poet was upset, but we only know that the crow shook the branch of the hemlock tree and a little shower of snow fell on the author, on the poet, and he felt happy. It brightened his mood. We don't know the reason why the crow shook the snow also. The poem is set in a scene where the poet is in a bad mood and is walking by a hemlock tree. As he passes by, a crow happens to throw some snow dust on him. Now, whether the snow falls on his head or shoulders is unknown, as there is no specific mention in the poem. Also, the readers are left in doubt about the bird's specific action, whether the crow was landing, shivering with cold, readjusting itself on the branch, or taking off. It happened to send some particles of snow upon the author. Now, the poem does not give a description whether the snow falls on his head or the shoulders, or whether the crow was landing on the tree, or was it shivering with cold, or readjusting itself on the branch, or taking off, and which led to the falling of snowflakes on the poet is unknown to us. Now, a very important point to note, children. Here, the 2 agents of nature, the hemlock tree and the crow, are signifiers of sadness and gloom. Gloom means sad only. just like the poet's mood was in the opening scene. So we find here that hemlock tree and crow are having a negative reference. They are signifying sadness and gloom, just like the poet's mood was in the starting. Now we'll see the second stanza. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. For reasons unknown, the author was having a terrible day and his mood was off. But the falling of the snow on his head lifted his mood instantly. He had already spent his day in a bad mood, but the rest of it was saved by the crow and the hemlock tree. Has given my heart a change of mood. That means his mood changed when the snowflakes fell on him and saved some part of a day I had rued. I had rued means for what he was upset. Now generally hemlock tree and crow are used for negative references, but the poet used them beautifully to portray, that is to show that inauspicious things can bring joy and happiness too. We must not take things for granted and should be open and accept whichever way the nature chooses to bless us. This is a very important thing, children. We should be optimistic. Here the two agents of nature, the crow and the hemlock tree, are referred to as the negative references. But the poet Robert Frost had used them so beautifully to show that sometimes the negative aspects of nature, the negativity around us, can also give us something positive. So we should always see on the positive aspects of the negative inauspicious things also. Now what is a rhyme? A rhyme is when words sound similar. Let us see the example. Jelly beans are fun to eat. Share them with the friends you meet. We see here eat and meet sounds similar. So these are in rhyme with each other. Eat a few. They sure are yummy, but not too many. They'll hurt your tummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy and tummy sound similar and therefore they are rhyming. Now what is a rhyme scheme? Rhyme scheme is the pattern in which the last words in lines of poetry rhyme. We record rhyming lines with letters. Letters means the alphabet. The first two lines that rhyme would be A. That means whichever words sound similar, the two words will be considered as A. The next two would be B and so on. The rhyming lines do not have to come right after another. There is no compulsion that the rhyming lines have to come right after another. We'll see some example. Bid me to weep, and I will weep while I have eyes to see, and having none, and yet I will keep a heart to weep for thee. See the underlined word, students. Weep and keep sound the same. Therefore, we mark it as A and A. C and D are rhyming. We mark it as B and B. So the rhyming scheme of the first stanza given here is A, B, A, B. Let us see the second example. True friends are by your side through it all. True friends are there to catch you when you fall. We see side does not rhyme with anything. We just mark it A. All and fall are rhyming to each other. We mark them B and B. There is alone. It does not rhyme with anyone. So we mark it as C. Therefore, the rhyming scheme of second example becomes A, B, C, B. Let us see the third example. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. We see here wood and stood are rhyming. We mark them as A and A. Both and undergrowth comes together. So we rhyme it as B. Also stood would, could are rhyming. Therefore, these three are A. The rhyming scheme of the third example becomes A, B, A, B. Now students, can you guess the rhyming scheme of the poem Snow of Dust? Yes, it is A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. That is the first and the third lines. The last words are rhyming and the last words of the second and the fourth lines are rhyming. Therefore, the scheme becomes A, B, A, B. Now, let us see the theme of the poem. Like the poet, all of us can restore our spirits by enjoying nature and her various moods. I hope this video will be useful for you children. Do subscribe to my channel, like and share the same, and also keep on watching my channel for new updates. Till then, goodbye. God bless you.